we make sense of the events that seem to be kicking up? The chaos feels like it's intensifying right now.
I think it is. I don't think it just feels like it. I think it actually is intensifying in the invisible world and the visible world. But what you just mentioned is it's so thrilling. And my younger daughter, I don't really scroll through social media. I just don't have time actually, but she does. And she's come up with all these videos around the world of people who are marching and shouting out Christ is King, and they're and giving professions of faith. She just sent me one, a woman who was all tatted up. She claimed to be an atheist, always knew nothing about God, and all of a sudden now she wants to know God. She went and bought a Bible, and it's just stunning. She sent me another video of a African American guy on a bus. He was a construction worker, but on the bus he was shouting out the gospel to the people that were on the bus, telling them they needed to get ready. They needed to put their faith in Jesus so they'd be ready for whatever came next. So my thought, Billy, when I was praying after Charlie Kirk's assassination, which was so shocking, I didn't have words. It was like you're just stunned. I couldn't. But the verse that came to mind was Jesus speaking in John chapter 12, verse 24. And he said, except a grain of wheat fall into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it falls into the ground and dies, it springs forth much fruit. In other words, God can bring incredible life from death and blessing from brokenness. And I look at Charlie Kirk's death, as untimely as it was, as much as I grieve for his wife and his children, I wonder if that's the grain of wheat, and God allowed him to fall into the ground, so to speak, and die, because from his death is springing up just thousands of people's lives who are being impacted and changed. Could it be that this is right before the end of human history as we know it? Could it be that this is right before when Jesus comes back to claim his own? And if so, even if it's not, if this causes a worldwide revival, then I think you could ask Charlie Kirk today, would you go to that campus? Would you sit right there and answer questions? Would you set yourself up as a target for an assassin? If you knew this was going to happen, and I think he would say 100 times over, yes, I would. Because his life, he lived to declare his faith and values and point people towards the Lord, and his death has done that in a way that his life, much more than his life ever did.